I am to support families that are either attending school here or that are employed by the college. What that actually means is it's my job to make sure that parents access any agencies or any kind of support that they need in order to raise their children successfully. There's a range of issues actually. If I'm working with a college student parent, it can be things like accessing financial aid. It may be accessing other agencies in the community to help them raise their children. For instance, we do a lot of work with the Department of Human Services. I work very consistently with the Housing Authority and the Food Assistance Program, which in Illinois is called SNAP. A lot of times I will help parents access diapers or formula. Sometimes it's clothing, and I have had many families in here that have a lack of food, so we're accessing, food pantries. The employed parents here basically are going right to the parenting issues. Why won't my baby sleep at night? What is it that I need to do to discipline a 2-year-old when they have a tantrum and things like that? The most common thing I hear about when I'm here is lack of care for their children. Okay, they have care while they are here, but a lot of our college students are working another job and going to school, and they're extremely concerned about the care of their children. There are things that I do to put in place to help parents find good quality care even when they're not here. That is another part of my work. So I work extensively with the Child Care Resource and Referral Network, and they've given me a great list of providers for all types of situations. We have children with special needs here. I have parents that work at night. Guess what? I have been able to find them care in the evening for their child who has a special need. You need special training for that. It's also happened that I found overnight care for one of my single fathers who's raising 2 children by himself right now. Yeah, so that's been pretty major for me and them. I will tell you right now, this is the hot button issue and will be for the next 50 years. I really believe that one of the reasons I have a job right now is because families need support. Families also need to hear about what they're doing well. Oftentimes I feel that families who are working and going to school or just working in general and trying to raise children never hear about the great things that they're doing with their kids. And I think it's so important for society to understand that to raise great children, they have to have great family support and love from their parents. And we have all different kinds of families that I see right now. I work with families from other countries right now that speak different languages. Their cultural values are very different than ours. Diversity comes into play when I'm working with families that have children with special needs. Those families are going to need a whole different set of skills in order to help their children at home and here at school. But even the regular family needs information. How does my child develop? What should I look for in their development? What if something's not right? What should I do? My job here is fascinating because I'm not just working with the families. I am now teamed up with the teachers as well. See, it's a partnership. The great thing about the job that I have here is that it's the relationship that I have not only with my families and the children here, but with the other qualified staff members we have. I think that over a period of time, all families will tell me what their needs are. I will share with you, just this year alone, I have 3 single fathers raising children. One of my fathers is heavily involved with the Department of Children and Family Services right now. He has gone so far as allowing me to attend some of his counseling sessions with a private counselor off campus. I've also met with his caseworker from the Department of Children and Family Services, and I provide some documentation to them to support the fact that he's meeting with me to learn about appropriate discipline, to learn about, appropriate nutrition for a young child. He is really going through the steps because he realizes now the value of being a great dad to his children. I think that's so amazing too. It's life-changing work what we do here. It's an advantage because I am specially trained to work with parents, and I'm specially trained and knowledgeable in knowing what parents need to know when they need to know it. It's really great because in a setting like this, an education setting, it will help parents go home and say, my child learned this at school, I learned this from the parent support specialist, now I can come home and let's do it here at home. So see, that learning is continuing even at home. It's really just wonderful. We like to think of it as the continuum of care. The great thing about parent education is we do what we call family-focused services. In other words, it doesn't matter what the family is, where they're at, you can look at them specifically and you can focus on what those needs are for that particular family and meet those needs. You can help them help their children learn at home, because a child's parent is their best teacher. They're there 24/7. These are the people that really understand their children better than anybody. And they need to be respected and valued for that. A lot of my techniques have to do with the way that I ask questions with parents. It's really important to ask certain questions to parents. All parents have universal needs. So some universal questions you want to ask parents are, what do things look like at your house? What concerns do you have about your child? And sometimes that will come into child development. I might say to the parent, what concerns do you have about yourself? What do you see right now that is preventing you from being a great parent? And parents are very natural in telling you, oh, you know what, I wish that I could read more to my child, or I wish that we could play more. So guess what? Those are opportunities, and I look at everything as an opportunity with them to improve the relationship with their child. The other questions I always ask parents, and there are two of them. What do you worry about at night, and what would you change if you could? And the reason I ask those questions, it gives me a vital picture of what they're visualizing in the future. That worry is a huge one, because if we don't address that worry, it's not going to happen for them future-wise what they see. The change question, what would you change? Oftentimes I ask that because, again, if they can visualize something that they can change, that gives me a clue as far as, this is something that we need to work on. For instance, one of my single dads said to me, I wish that I was not so angry all the time. So I knew, okay, anger's an issue here in his household. That may be what had gotten him to the point where he had intervention. We need to talk about how to deal with anger and what makes you angry. What are those triggers? Let's address that.